Hi folks, welcome to Follow the Leader, a podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Twitter and Tumblr at FTLcast, and we also have a Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. Today, as I switch over tabs, we are playing Uneven Orbits by Luke Jordan at Games from the Wildwood. For those of you that are new to the game, here are the basics. Space. The vast empty dark. Unending, uncaring. A tapestry of endless black so vast the countless worlds and moons are but lonely islands floating small and fragile in the void. And strung between the islands, precious as jewels and tiny as dust, the ships that connect them. When humans finally fled the dying earth they left in their millions, crowded on seed ships each big as a moon and ready to populate a whole new world. They fled to finally learn that the old words were true. They were not alone. Now humanity is but one species among many in the cosmic harmony, an alliance of all the Milky Way's friendly, interested sentients. The harmony species, robot and alien, AI and clone, are foreign to one another, children of worlds and histories separated by unmappable distance. But even without maps, they make it work. And with patience, kindness, and the loneliness of the empty dark, they may make something more. This is a one-page GM-less roleplay game about a crew, a ship, and an uncertain journey which brings them close, or perhaps tears them apart. I'm Jade, and you can find me at Jade Oxford Rose on Twitter, and my pronouns are they, them. Playing with me today we have...
I'm Dora, and you can find me on Twitter at HarpyDora, and you can find the games that I've written at harpydora.itch.io, and my pronouns are they, them.
I'm Kales. You can find me on Twitter at Citadel of Swords. You can No, I'm leaving that one as is.
I'll leave it in.
You can find the games that I write at citadelofswords.itch.io at the point that, it's going to be a bit after this episode comes out, but at the point that this episode is out, you can actually get my game Memoria. It'll finally be out. Thank fucking God. It's been a long journey, but you can get that on my itch. My pronouns are they, them, I guess.
My name is Mab. You can find me on Twitter at Little Lady Mab. You can find my games over at Sunshine Paladin on Twitter, and this should still be going up while the video game jam is still going. If you are listening to this after November, check out my Twitter. I'll have a moment up, hopefully, of all of the games, but otherwise, go make a game based on your favorite RPG. It'll be cool. And my pronouns are she, her.
Our lines. Things we absolutely do not want to see are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, and unwanted pregnancy. Our veils, which are things we're fine with addressing but will just fade to black on, are steamy situations and graphic descriptions of bodily harm. Now that we've got all that, let's get started. So, we've all, because of who we are as people, we've done most of the prep, getting our characters ready. So what we're going to do is rattle through who we're playing today. As per the text, every crewmate has a job, a species, a need, boundaries, a longing, and we'll go through those and then we'll get into the stuff that I'm sure you're all here for, is the relationships and how they're presented in Uneven Orbits. Is pretty cool. But yeah, let's rattle through who we're playing.
All right. I'm going to be playing Soul Hawk. Her pronouns are she, her, and her crew job is muscle. Her species is human. Her need is I need to not have the rug ripped out from under me again. Her boundary is do not come looking for me when I don't want to be found. Her longing is I wish I had someone to help make sense of things. Her look is olive complexion, bleached blonde hair, dark eyes, and she looks vaguely like Gina Carano in Deadpool. And her personality is angry and a bit self-destructive, protective of those that she cares about, and she doesn't trust easily.
Angsty McMahon pain, but a lady.
I just noticed that you didn't write it down. I'm like, is this a character development? Who is she?
She's had to do some soul searching.
She
Soul searching.
Oh.
I did not do that on purpose. Somebody somewhere is very proud of me. I'm
proud of
or
you.
I'm really happy.
that was
I don't know.
incredible.
The best puns are the accidental ones.
Well, you want to know what? You want to know what? She can't exactly say all my family is dead anymore. I mean, she can, but it would be really rude.
That was kind of my point. But anyway,
Meryl voice, stop saying that I'm dead. Sometimes I can still hear her voice.
You can, because she's here. I'm going to be playing Meryl Whitmer. Her crew job is 5 question marks, extra hands, because she's mostly a smuggler. She doesn't really have any other skills than that. Her species is human, because human with a question mark. There's a lot of question marks here. Because I don't actually know, and I don't know. I gotta think about that a little bit. What does she look like in this universe? Her needs, she has 2 needs. Her first need is I need to remember how to be human again and not just a runaway. And her second need is I need to make up for all the mistakes I've made since I left the people that I care about behind. You'll hear more about that in a second. Her boundary is do not talk about me as though I can't hear you. Her longing is I wish I had someone to hold my hand and tell me I did okay. Her look is she has dark skin, brightly dyed hair fading to a natural black at the roots because she hasn't had a chance to re-dye it. And she's got really bright, she's just got really in anime when they put stars in the eyes of the characters, that's what her eyes look like all the time, pretty much. And her face claim is Tessa Thompson, specifically in Sorry to Bother You, which I still have not seen. But she just looks so good in that movie. I had to. And her personality is loyal to a fault, impulsive to a fault, loud and loving, and trying so, so hard.
Poor sweet child.
My perfect daughter.
I'll be playing everyone's favorite Kerrigan Kestrel, aka Carrie. Her crew job is actually the captain/pilot because they're on her ship. Her species is human. Her need is I need them to trust me if we're going to make it through this safely. Her boundaries are do not demean my capabilities and do not test the limits of my patience. And her longing is I wish there was someone I could let my guard down around. I see someone clicking on the hyperlink that I added.
I just needed to go look at her again.
Her look is long blonde hair, dark eyelashes, very blue eyes. I was just reading Siege and Storm from the Grisha trilogy, and there was a line that Alina uses to reference Zoya, and that her eyes are the disgustingly long-lashed blue gems, and I went, oh, this is perfect for Carrie. And fair skin, high femme, and everyone's clicking on this that I had linked, and it's just one random picture from Pinterest that encapsulates her perfectly. Personality is head bitch in charge and is probably better than you and knows it.
Oh, I love her so much. I'm gonna hate her so much by the end of this game again, but right now I still love her.
Yeah.
Before I introduce my character, as the sheet of the game asks what the ship is and the ship's name, if it has one, as it's Kerry's ship, Mab, did you want to just go over that?
Sure. Officially, the ship has no quote-unquote name beyond the model and different registration codes for various ports and controlled areas of space. So whenever she pulls into, such as this, a space pirate port or into somewhere that is not strictly Unisol territory, she doesn't come around waving this bright, shiny Unisol flag on her ship. But unofficially, Carrie has nicknamed the AI on the ship Davenport. The type of work that it does is technically speaking, diplomacy and politics.
And finally, as you may have guessed, given by who else is playing, I am returning with Max Valera. Her job is engineer/mechanic. That species is human. Her needs are, I need to have some control of the tech around me and be able to interact with it. And I need space to be alone, to process, to deal with things. My boundary is do not question my sleep habits and coping methods. My longing is I need someone I can trust to take control of things so I don't have to be. Her look is tan skin, short dark brown hair with an undercut, normally pulled up into a little ponytail. Ears pierced a number of times, eyebrow always pierced. Dark eyes, almost always seen in overalls and tank top. And solid work boots, and has a metal leg brace. Face claim is Gina Rodriguez in Annihilation. You're welcome. Personality is sharp in every sense of the word, possesses an excess of energy and a shortage of fucks to give.
And never sleeps.
Sleep is for the weak.
Sleep is for the weak.
And now, what I love, this is one of the more interesting takes on relationships that I've seen in like setup for a game, is you have to choose one crewmate you're comfortable with, work with the player to figure out why, and you choose one or two crewmates who you dislike or resent, and it gives you like a list of questions as to why that might be the case. It's not just a personality clash per se. And for all of the other characters, you have to sort of have a starting opinion of them, and that can change as the game goes on. And I really appreciate how it says in the text, it's okay if this is shallow, reductive, or biased. It's very good.
That is how it be. The nice thing is, since there's 4 of us, each of us have picked one crewmate we're comfortable with, 2 that we dislike and resent, and we have statements for all of them.
Mm-hmm. So let's roll back up to the top of the document and rattle through.
So the crewmate that Sol is comfortable with is Max. And her opinion of Max is, when shit hits the fan, at least I can count on her. The crewmates that it's more on the resentful side of things. So the crewmates she kind of resents are Meryl and Carrie. Her opinion of Meryl is she let me think she was dead for fuck's sake, and she expects me to just forget about that. And Carrie is how the fuck am I supposed to trust her now that I know she's with Unisol?
Yeehaw. The crewmate that Meryl is comfortable with is Carrie, and the only thing that I have here, and I think this summarizes it, is somehow.
Question mark.
And because I don't think Meryl is really capable of resenting anyone on the crew, and 2, she knows that she has like full reason for them to both be like resentful of her, so she's just massively uncomfortable with them. Is Max and Sol. And what I have for Max is I need to be forgiven, but I don't know how to be. And so for Sol is I need her to understand I did everything for her. Because Meryl is Sol's sister and faked her death to try and keep Sol safe. and then let Sol think that she was dead for like 5 or 6 years.
As you
Yay.
Do. As you do.
As you do.
For Carrie, the crewmate she is most comfortable with is Meryl, and the reason is I at least know where I stand with her, even if it is a little tense. And the crewmates that she dislikes / resents / is uncomfortable with is Sol, because I thought we were getting close, but we haven't really spoken after I was arrested by Kuiper, and I don't know if she'll really believe my innocence. And Max, because I know she blames me for the downfall of the bastard, and I don't know if I'll ever be redeemable in her eyes.
Max, the crewmate she's comfortable with, is Sol, and the opinion of her is Sol is blunt and laughably easy to read, but dependable. I know where we stand. And the crewmates I dislike or resent, surprising no one, are Meryl and Carrie. For Meryl, is I know her best of all, but I don't know how to feel about her anymore. Everything is messed up. And for Carrie, it's smart enough to be dangerous and a known liar. It's hard to trust her. We've got a recap before we dive into Uneven Orbits. There's a recap that I'm not going to read. I'm going to make somebody else read because somebody went to the effort of writing it.
So here's a recap for the Kingdom games, in case you don't really want to go back and listen to all, 3 hours of that content, which, like, totally get that shit. So here's a recap. Once upon a time, a hive of scum and villainy named the Bastion, or as you heard before, the Bastard, depending on the day, floated in space. Everything was going great for Max, Kuiper, and Saul after a mutiny against a corrupt leadership left them all in great positions to profit. So everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked, or with the arrival of Carrie and Meryl. Carrie, as it turned out, was an undercover operative for the Unified Solar Fleet, the enforcers of the law in space, and Meryl, as it turned out, was a ghost from several people's pasts. Word of a leak destabilized things, and the Bastion ended up tearing itself apart. Kuiper fled the station with Quixote, a different ghost from the past, and you can hear that in a game of StarCross that we're going to post somewhere, which left Max, Soul, Carrie, and Meryl to find their own ways.
And then beneath it all, I just wrote the word "gorls," which was the only word on this doc for the very long time.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks where it was just like, girls.
Just so you all know.
And that was it.
What else is there to say about it but girls?
Girls.
Okay, so you know the characters and you know where they're currently standing with each other. So, with crew and characters created and their relationships worked out, the voyage begins. The game is played in rounds, each represents a month or more in the story and takes about 15 to 25 minutes to play. Ha!
Ha ha ha.
Each round has a player who leads it. The role of lead player passes around the table clockwise, starting with whoever last flew in a plane.
Which, given all of our, all the drama that went down at, not drama, but like everything that happened at FlameCon.
Yeah, saying drama went down at FlameCon was not what happened.
FlameCon itself was fine. Getting out of FlameCon.
What happened in Newark Airport during a thunderstorm?
We do not speak about the hell.
We're
just gonna say that it was Dora.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dora's going to kick us off. Play will pass around the table at least once. Everybody gets to lead a round. The idea is that this journey, because, you know, space is really, really big. The idea is that this voyage takes about a year. So, yeah, that's fun. So, but yeah, round one.
So when it's your turn to lead a round, follow these steps. First, determine what crisis arises this month. Then answer the questions associated with the crisis and describe what it looks like. Set the scene, add details, and show the difficulty and intensity of events. Third, the other players take turns showing their responses to the crisis. Fourth, set a scene together of the crew at rest. And if someone surprised you during the crisis, strike out your old opinion of them and write a new one. I don't have a crisis that I specifically want to do, so I'm going to roll on the table.
I love that it provides you a table.
Yeah, there's a table of rolls, a table of crises, and you can either roll for it or you can choose one, depending on what you want your flavor of angst to be.
I'm just adding a thing under everybody's character in the GDoc for memories. Is there a thing that can be generated through play?
Crucial supplies on the ship run short or
Ooh.
run out.
Good one to start with. Can we also impose the rule for folks who are rolling that, like, if you're not interested in a crisis, you can just roll again, because who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to start with that one? As it's the beginning of the journey.
Because it also would kind of make sense. It wasn't a ship that was stocked for 4 people, and we
That's
are
true.
kind of literally jumping ship. We're like the last few people leaving the Bastion at this point. Because Max refuses to leave. The captain, quote unquote, must go down with the ship, or in this case, the lead engineer will see it to die unless she does first. And then, you know, so Carrie just kind of like going like, okay, no, we're literally getting onto my ship and we're leaving. And so it, you know, it makes sense that, you know, crucial supplies is literally anything, because she was stocked for herself and then maybe herself for a return trip or to a shorter port of call nearby afterward. And then who knows who might have ransacked the ship. Not that she would have left it unlocked, but, you know, It's a bunch of pirates. It's a
Yeah.
hive of scum and villainy. Someone might have gotten in.
Yeah. So the two questions that are associated with this crisis are who can get more and whose needs are endangered by the shortage.
Well, first of all, I think one of the questions that we probably should have addressed at the top was, and like I brought it up a little bit in the idea of where are they going, or do they just start sailing?
Oh, we talked about this, didn't we? Out in the meta space.
We talked about it in meta space. Within the context of space. And
well, because Carrie's the one who kind of encouraged them to get all out, right?
Yes. So
is she trying to bring them somewhere specific?
She will present them the offer that she will take them wherever they want to go, or they're going to where she was headed next after she was going to leave the Bastion. And she's like, well, I'm going to head there so we can restock. And you have until then to decide what you want to do next.
Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, because we can have the conversation in character about where the final destination for these people is, at least for now, because that'd actually be quite a fun thing to talk out.
So we can do it in the crew at rest scene, TBH.
Yeah.
Because we'll all be together, so we can save that. We can do the crisis of the supplies running out, and then a scene of us trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah, and like I think it does work for pushing on Carrie's need, which is like, just trust me to lead you here. Also, because everyone's like, what do you mean you can pilot a ship? But and then a little bit, I think, on to Meryl's with like needing to remember how to not just be a runaway.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Also, full disclosure, Carrie just went to Max and said, yes, you can be the engineer. I don't want to take this from you because then you'll just gripe the entire way. Please, just have at it.
That's funny.
I'm giving my microphone a shitty look. I know you can't see it, Max, but it is very much the look that Max would give Carrie in that. Oh, good. I'm so glad. It should be palpable.
Yeah.
So who can get more? Is it Carrie, but they need to get somewhere first?
Probably.
They need to get to that first port.
And they also need to trust her that she's not going to turn them in, or whatever they think she's going to do because she's Unisol.
Yeah, I think I think that sounds good.
I definitely think that more of the issue of like the fact that it brings up the whole like we have to decide where we're going like now thing hits Meryl's need more than the running out of supplies part. It's like, oh, I thought we were going to have more time to figure out where we were going to go. I thought I was going to have time to make everything right before we had to figure that out, because like Meryl's whole deal right now is that she's basically just going to go wherever her sister and Max go. If they'll let her. So she's like, but wait, I don't want to, it's not my job to figure this out. I was supposed to repair things first. And so it's a whole thing.
It's a nice little trigger to just push.
Yeah, thanks, Carrie.
It's not my fault. It's the dice that Dora rolled.
It's never your fault.
The digital dice in our chat.
Okay, so yeah, you want to set the scene, add details, and show the difficulty and intensity of events. Like, we know we got to get to this port, but
yeah, we've definitely got to get to the port. I was wondering if it would be worthwhile to have a scene exploring, the initial reactions to when we discover that the supplies aren't going to get us very far.
Hell yeah. I like that. That could be like the soul scene, if you want. Then we do the round and then the group scene at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sweet.
Sounds good. I've been awake for too long for me to be having this many problems coming up with ideas.
Well, it's Sol and it's got to be Sol and Carrie, right? The others can be there. But Oh, while Dora thinks about this, Mab, did you want to establish some details about this ship? How big it is? What sort of space we're living in for this
Oh, yeah,
fucking
sure.
possibly year-long trip?
Yeah, so I considered being mean and cutting down the number of rooms by one, but then I decided it's Carrie. She still travels in luxury, so there's enough rooms for everybody. As far as I'm like, I don't know what spaceship, but as far as like the design looks in my head, is that there is kind of a core central area like in the middle, and there is like the common room sort of thing attached to a little kitchenette type of thing. In front of that would be the flight deck, where she spends some time mostly to get away from everyone else and then also to monitor how the ship is going. Behind the general area, there's like a little hallway. There's 2 rooms on either side, and then in the back there is the bathroom and storage area.
This feels like a very scaled down version of the Serenity, and I'm
Yep.
very happy about it because fuck you, Joss Whedon, your ship is ours now. And it's
Yeah,
full of
guess what? Full of gays.
gays. It's full of gays.
Fuck you, Joss Whedon. It's full of gay ladies.
It's full of gay ladies. We're gonna be fraught. But yeah, so it's pretty small. Yeah, I was like picturing the Serenity in my head, and I was like, well, it is not nearly that big enough because they don't do smuggling or cargo or passengers runs or anything like that. It is still technically a political ship. She is still a politician technically. You guys don't know. You don't know her backstory. And but it is a very like sleek ship as far as things are concerned. It is very, you can tell that it is a fancy one, even if it does look very pared down.
What's the color scheme inside? Is it like very next generation palette? Is it like much lighter and shinier? Is it more like the Serenity? It's more like very rusty looking in tones. Like what's
this
the
is
palette?
Carrie. Why would
Carrie
it
would
be
not have a
rusty?
rusty
It's
palette.
clean and shiny. It's very
pulling
neutral
examples.
palette.
Mhm.
It's like, you know, that kind of like sleek space type
I
of
hate
feel.
it. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's
Max
Carrie's.
hates it.
It
Max
Yep.
hates it.
Yes, indeed. Yep, perfect. That's all I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Very good. It's very good.
Uh-huh.
I think this is probably within like the first couple of days after they've left, and Saul is just taking inventory of what they've got, and she takes inventory, she looks at the numbers, she takes inventory again, she looks at the numbers. I think
so that's not gonna make it change at all.
Yeah, I almost want to say that she gets Max to come and take inventory with her one
Yeah, I'm
last
down.
time,
Mm-hmm.
and like I still want Soul to talk to Carrie, but I feel like Carrie would definitely not be the first person that she goes to with this.
Mm-hmm.
And so she just kind of like pull Max aside and be like, I don't, maybe I've never been a quartermaster before. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but can you take a look at this? And she holds up the manifest of all of the inventory of supplies that they've got, and kind of like gives it to Max.
Max just sort of like flicks through it. Like Max has never been a quartermaster either. It's not her particular skill set. It just sort of looks over it, and the expression gets even more dour than it did before. It was not. I don't think Max has smiled since they got on here. Probably didn't smile. Hasn't smiled for quite a long chunk of time before that either. And it's just like, yeah, no, that is nowhere near enough. I mean, the tech's fine. Like, I'm not worried about us running out of like air or water or probably not even fuel with the tech that this place has. I'll give it to Kestrel. Her ship is efficient, if nothing else. But that is not enough food, not for 4, not for how long this is going to take.
Shit.
Yeah. You should possibly talk to her rather than me about this.
Soul voice, I don't want to, though.
Can't someone else do it?
What if I ... didn't?
But what if I died instead?
And Max can kind of like see that those thoughts pass over Soul's face before finally she, like, for the sake of this, let's say it's like a paper manifest. She
Sure.
crumples up the paper manifest and shoves it into one pocket, and it's just like, yeah, guess someone should talk to Kestrel.
She thinks I hate her, so she'll take it really personally. I mean, she won't care, but, you know, she'll act like she doesn't care, because she does that. I'm gonna go poke something. Good luck.
Thanks. And that's... Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Max just, like, glares at one of the interfaces with the ship's AI that's, like, flashed up with, like, a smiley face or whatever, because Max said something nice and Mab said it in the channel in our text chat, and it made me laugh, and she just, like, flips the bird at the, like, little interface with the ship's AI and keeps walking. Don't worry, they've got time to get to know each other better. Right now, Max is just dealing with it.
Yeah, who knows? A crisis might pop up that involves it.
I find it fascinating that Kerry is so convinced that she thinks Max hates her. Really interesting and fun. But yes, that's what I've got.
Yeah. So Soul definitely goes and finds Carrie after a little bit of hemming and hawing. Like I feel like she goes through the stores one last time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't just go over the manifest, like goes and counts boxes.
Yeah. Before she finds Carrie. And where would she find Carrie?
Carrie spends most of her time just holed away in the flight deck, in her chair, in her captain's chair, just not quite sulking because she's too dignified to sulk, but she's very business mode.
Yeah. There's a knock on the door. I'm assuming the door is closed.
Yeah, but I think it opens when the AI will just open it for you when you're approaching. Or after you knock.
Okay. I definitely don't go in at first. Like, it's just like Soul awkwardly clearing her throat. And then it's just like, Kestrel.
Hawk? Are you gonna go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, are you just gonna stand there?
Soul like has both hands in her pockets and just sort of shuffles forward. And it's probably the most uncomfortable that Carrie's ever seen her. And she pulls out the paper manifest, which is crumpled by now and definitely barely legible, and she's just like, we got a problem.
You're defacing paper products?
Soul just like glares and is like, that's not what I'm talking about.
No, but I'm gonna need you to be straightforward with me.
Listen, we don't have enough supplies to get us much of anywhere. I'm not a quartermaster, never been much for that kind of thing, but I got eyes, I can count.
Congratulations.
God fucking damn it, Carrie.
Listen, I'm trying to be cordial here. I'm trying to let you know that we got a problem. But if you want to just have us all starve in space, I wish you would have said so before we got on this ship with you. So at least we could have done it.
I would have just let you starve of oxygen deprivation by leaving you on the bastion. But no. You're here, and you're now part of my tiny, tiny little crew. So I do have some responsibility for you, and that includes feeding you. Didn't have time to take stock before we left, so I'm not surprised.
Well, I took stock and now we know. What are we going to do about it?
There's a non-Unisol related station nearby, if it makes you feel better. We can stop by there.
Sol looks kind of suspicious and is just like, she doesn't actually ask, how do I know I can trust you? But, that's the vibe that she's giving off when she says, convenient.
Carrie just rolls her eyes so hard you can feel it and says, I'm not gonna go into this fucking blind, Hawk. I know where I'm going, and I know all the stations around here where I can either disappear in a way that isn't Unisol, or I know where I can go when I need to be among my own kind, or whatever you want to fucking call it. There are stations nearby that aren't associated. We're on the ass end of Unisol space. Don't think that everyone here just has the sun flag because you see... Ugh. Whatever. What the fuck ever. All right, we're going. I'll put in the coordinates. Thank you for the notification.
I don't think Sol says anything else. I think she just kind of leaves.
Yep.
Madly leaves.
Yeah. She doesn't, there's not a door to slam or anything, but if there were a door to slam, she'd slam the door behind her.
The AI closes the door gently behind her.
Yeah, like the hiss of an automatic door behind you. Just oh, that would make me so much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very clearly now cutting you out of this space. Goodbye.
Okay, so who's next? Who wants to reply to... Well, I suppose it's Meryl.
It's technically me. I don't know what I'm doing. Exactly. It's probably a solo scene. But I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe it's... I don't know.
If you want to talk at the AI, I'll give you emoji in the chat. No, I'm just kidding.
That's good to know for later.
Yes.
Because I would love to do that later.
Yep.
It might honestly just be a scene of Meryl, not knowing what she's doing. But, trying to do something. She could just be, rifling around in boxes, thinking maybe she'll find something in them.
Something to do.
Something to do, something to eat.
She's getting hangry.
Yeah, honestly.
Anxious? Hungry, anxious?
Nah, hangry, probably.
Okay.
Meryl seems like the kind of kid who'd get hangry. I mean, she's me, and I get hangry, so...
Valid.
Does that mean it's me now?
Yee.
Okay. So I think Carrie will call in Meryl to come sit with her for a moment in the flight deck.
Yeah, alright, fine.
She gets a little text pop up from the AI, just on one of the readouts nearby. It's just
So she doesn't... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so she doesn't just get the AI to open the door, lean back in her chair, just be like, Meryl!
She's too dignified for that.
I know, but the visual was very good. You just said,
really
call
good.
Meryl in. Just
Meryl, my office, please!
That emoji is Meryl's response.
Lion face. Yeah, there's a little text pop up on one of the interfaces nearby, just saying, Captain Kestrel would like to speak with you.
Meryl sends back the face, but she goes anyway.
So Carrie will just look up when she enters and just says, well, I'd say pull up a seat, but there is one other chair, so you don't really have to pull it up anywhere. If you'd like to sit, you can.
Okay. She will.
I'm a little disappointed with you, Meryl. not in like a disapproving authority figure, of course, but
Meryl looks into the camera like she's on The Office, which is what I just did. So I need y'all to know.
I don't know what you thought you would get out of that stunt you pulled.
I don't know either. Also, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yes, you do.
No, I really don't.
You come in to my office just yelling about me being Unisol and me being the one who's at fault. And it's half true. I am Unisol. But, like, did you know my office was bugged when you were saying that?
I don't remember. Did Meryl know that the office
She
was
did.
bugged when she said that?
Oh,
She
yeah.
did.
Oh, yeah. It was
Max-
speaking to my
Max
lapel flower
Yeah.
we were joking about.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, y'all. I did not re-listen to Arc 11.
Valid.
I might have had an idea.
Did you honestly think that I was the one causing the leak? Or did you just want to, like, fuck with me some more? Just, swan in and ruin things. Again.
Yes and no.
We're going to be stopping at a nearby port station. And we're going to take on supplies. Are you going to run away again? Or are you going to face these consequences? Because all of this, really, is the result of your actions.
You think I don't know that?
Good. I'm glad. I was a little uncertain at first.
Well, now you can be extremely fucking certain.
I always love to be extremely fucking certain, Meryl. I don't like being caught by surprise, and I don't like it when those surprises are wrong. And I get caught up in the crossfire of someone else's paranoia and mistakes. So just make sure you keep that a little on the DL, at least until we reach the station. Because right now, we already have one crisis, and that is I have to make sure you all can eat until we reach the station. So don't go spreading false rumors again, okay?
Don't worry. I have nothing to say about you.
Oh, good. You can go.
Thanks, I will. And she leaves. Jesus Christ. Mab.
Damn.
I told
Sitting
you.
over here like finger snaps.
Carrie
Just
has
like-
been stewing in my head this last week, so...
Remember when I said I loved Carrie?
It didn't even
Fuck
last
you.
this long. All right.
Way to bring back all the guilt that I felt after
I just had to make
Arc 11
sure
ended.
that we were all in the same headspace together. Yeah. Dancer emoji.
How long is the journey from where this discovery was, like a couple of days out from the Bastion, to this other station? We're talking like a week? Are we talking
Well,
like 2 weeks?
Theoretically, a month. That's how long the
Yeah.
round takes. Also, space
Yeah.
is big.
Space is big.
Question is this because Carrie's drive isn't, or Carrie's ship isn't fitted with an FTL drive?
I don't know how Kalman follow the leader drives are.
Thanks, Dora.
We were all thinking it.
Serious questions.
No, I missed
I
the first
assume that
letter,
there's
and I'm like,
not-
what's it? I'm like, TL drive, and then I was like, oh, nope, I got it.
The implication I get from the setting is that there isn't faster than light travel because of how long journeys take to do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like,
So it's-
like there isn't, because this is still like the Milky Way. It's like things maybe can go fast, but they can't go.
Yeah, and then also
that
it is a
fast.
very it's a not a shuttle, but it is a small ship.
Yeah, so
So
It's not the
I mean,
room
I
for,
don't
like,
know.
big
Carrie could
engines.
afford a small ship with an FTL drive, like whatever.
she could probably, throw something together if she wanted to, but she doesn't quite have the utilities at her disposal right now.
Extremely fair.
Okay. I'm gonna open this up to whoever wants to be in the scene.
I've been
Okay.
causing enough ruckus. I'll hold off.
Okay. And I think this is a scene of just like Max in the common area during the night time, and big ol' air quotes around that. And is just making herself like coffee or whatever the equivalent they've got left is.
Oh, I had a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, as I said, this is Midnight. So this is like, because of who I am, this is like Max in like boxers and a tank top.
Of course.
Yep.
I'm giving the people what they want.
It's true, you are.
So the leg brace isn't on. So I imagine you can see all the scarring from the accident that is why Max wears one. So that's fun.
That's yay. Fuck. Because I think the thing is, I don't know if she's gonna say anything, but I think the thing is that Meryl can't sleep because she keeps thinking about what Carrie said to her and she's upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knows Carrie's right.
Yeah.
So she goes down to the kitchen to see if there's anything.
Well, also, as this goes on, having just re-listened to Arc 11, the only scene that Max and Meryl have together is the one where they talk. That's it. They didn't have another scene together.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah.
That's true.
I forgot that the other scene that we did never happened on screen.
No, and it kind of is now AU because the things have gone differently.
Yeah,
so
things have gone differently, so that never happened. Oh, jeez. Oh, fuck. That never happened.
Nope.
Yikes.
Cackles maniacally.
Yeah. So yeah, Meryl's gonna be in the kitchen.
Is she there first, or does she come in to find Max there?
She comes in to find Max there, 100%.
Okay. I think Max turns around because, given Meryl's skill set, I imagine that she can move around pretty quietly.
Yeah.
So, like, Max doesn't hear her come in, especially like if like you have to come from the corridor behind the general area, and like they're coming that way. So Max like turns round, and it's just like, Jesus, Meryl, make a noise, please, if you're moving around.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Didn't-
don't worry about it.
Didn't know you'd be here.
Well, you know me. And sort of like toasts a little bit, or like indicates the mug, and it smells like whatever coffee. I assume it's still coffee.
Oh, it's super fancy coffee.
Oh my god. Is it okay? Then Max has like heated it up to make it a bit thicker and more tar-like, and he's just like doing the whole like almost like Turkish coffee thing with it, but like heating it up further and making it thicker and adding more sugar and stuff like that. So, or whatever artificial sweetener, I should say. But yeah, like indicates what she's drinking.
Yeah. Nothing's changed, huh?
No, not some things anyway.
Yeah.
Can't sleep.
No.
Do you want to?
What?
Do you want to sleep?
A little bit,
'Cause-
but not really.
Okay. And sort of turns around and like gets some water and like thins out a little bit what's left of the stuff she was making. I'm just like,
Max still knows how Meryl likes her coffee too. Oof. Oof.
But yeah. And just like does that whole day. Just like, well, if you're not interested in sleeping.
Meryl like very, very gingerly takes it, like like she's not sure if she wants to drink, if she wants to like use up the like more of the coffee, but she also really fucking wants some coffee.
So, heard that little fracas you had with our captain the other day. Holding up okay? Or is that why you can't sleep?
Yep. That's why I can't sleep. She's right.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, what does it change? Nothing. We're here in a fancy-ass diplomat's transport with not enough fucking food. Because we had to fucking leave. And that's just where we are now. That's where our lives are now. And yet somehow I'm here talking to you in the middle of the night drinking coffee.
So it could be worse.
Yeah. It's not worth losing sleep over, Meryl. You can't fix it. It's broken. Just gotta see what you can make of the pieces. That's what I always do. Speaking of, and she just sort of goes to leave.
Meryl just sort of watches her go. Like Meryl's just been looking at her face the whole time. And I assume Max wasn't looking back.
No. Max is going to go back to her room and continue pulling apart a piece of something that she uncoupled from one of the walls.
Rude.
It's not broken.
Yeah. Yet.
Meta question, Jade. How much of the conversation did Max actually hear?
Mostly the points that were loud.
Okay.
Like, it's not like... Because I also have bad memory retention, I did not take in every cognizant detail of that conversation, but probably heard enough to know what the conversation was about. And the fact that Carrie was yelling.
Oh, Carrie
full
never
stop.
yells.
Well, maybe the tone
Her
carried.
tone does carry, though. She's a politician.
Yeah.
She doesn't
Carrie's tone carries?
yell. Yeah.
Uh,
All right, so we have soul searching and Carrie's tone carrying. What else?
And then, so my real question is, did Max hear Carrie ask Meryl if she was going to run away again?
No, I don't think Max had that part.
Great. Love that. Good.
You're welcome.
Either
'Cause it's much more
direction you went with
interesting.
it is good.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's Max's scene. Oh, it's a group scene.
Now it's the group scene. So I think it's... I'm going to commandeer it for a moment, Dora, mostly just because I think it's Carrie calling everyone into the common room area when they arrive at port.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's captain. Technically. She's like, oh, now I'm captain of a crew. Weird.
Fucking wild.
Fucking wild. Yeah, she just kind of calls everyone into the common room to sit around like the little table or to sit on the couches or whatever, because of course there's couches. Everything's very nice and plush. How does so it's like they're like a day out from port, I think, at this point, from the station when she calls them in, and she's standing by the doors to the flight deck and just kind of waiting for everyone to come.
Yeah.
I was like, do they? Or do they?
Yeah.
Or do they just ignore
they
her?
show up.
It's a very small ship.
Yeah.
She's gonna go looking for all of you.
Get
out of
I
bed!
think that's part of why. That's part of why. It's like, where are you going to hide from her?
And she says, "We are almost at the station, and so I'm giving you all a choice. I'm going to stay there long enough to restock, probably a few days at most, and then by that point, you all can decide what you want to do. You can stay, and I can take you wherever you want to go, because I have the means, and it won't cost you anything. Otherwise, you can stay back on the port, and I'll leave."
Max like glances at Sol.
I think Sol looks thoughtful for a little bit, and then she says, "I got a place I could go. Not a Unisol outfit. Not even really that fancy, but
Well, if you thought the bastard was fancy, I'd hate to see what this place looks like.
That's not in character laughing. I'm giggling.
The stink eye goes back on Carrie.
And yeah, you could see like the way Carrie's kind of like holding herself. It's a very different demeanor than when she was the scientist, Carrie Kestrel. And you can very much tell that, oh yeah, she's definitely, I don't know how we didn't know this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of how Sol phrases this, because it's definitely, she definitely doesn't let that slide.
Good. She shouldn't.
Bastard wasn't much, but it was something. This place ain't much, but it's something, and you should feel lucky that you get to see places like this, because at least
her eyebrows are up.
At least these are places where people can live without having to lick a Unisol boot.
Oh!
Also not in character.
Sol, what do you think I was doing on that station in the first place?
Meryl is like smirking a little bit though.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit.
Maybe if you pulled your head out of your ass for just 1 minute and took into consideration that not everyone is fucking licking boots over on Unisol, and maybe think that there's some people that are trying to make a difference and make a change, then your perspective of me might be a little different. But I'm not asking that of you. That might be a little too hard for you to cognize right now, Sol.
Kestrel?
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
She just kind of looks at you and has a very dagger-sharp smile, but it's very, like, a polite dagger-sharp smile. So you have a day to decide. All right?
All right.
Right.
She about faces and steps back into the flight deck, and the door closes behind her.
So that's scene, right?
Unless you guys want to continue your conversation.
I figure we can extrapolate it.
Yeah.
Meryl's gonna like slouch into the corner of the couch, like, you won't fucking talk to my sister that way. Fuck you.
I mean, Max's main thought is a cop's a fucking cop. So, you know, there are no good cops.
Yeah.
All cops are bastards!
All cops are bastards. But yeah, so it's just like, Max doesn't have like a whole lot of places to go, so the fact that Sol has a place, Sol of all people has a place to go that she thinks is a good place to go, then Max will be like, yeah, no, I'll go there too. For the sake of extrapolation.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Meryl's just, I don't know if Meryl, I don't know how that conversation goes, actually.
Does she even say anything? Is it just a matter of when the ship is ready to go, she's still there?
Yeah, I think that's probably
definitely
closer to it.
Also speaks louder than anything she could say.
Yeah, I think the thing is that she's afraid that if she says that she's gonna go with them, they're gonna tell her no. And she doesn't want them to say no. So she's just gonna show up.
Yeah.
Or maybe she doesn't even leave the ship. She just stays on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's still there when they go to take off again.
Yeah.
If you stay on the ship, Carrie's gonna say, well, can you help, like, unpack the food when it arrives?
She will.
Give her something to, like, take her mind off of it.
Yeah, so she'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before we move on to the next crisis, if somebody surprised you during the crisis, strike out your old opinion of them and write a new one. And if somebody did something that touched or moved you, add a memory.
I don't know how to better word. Ugh, God, she sucks.
She's so good.
God, she sucks, but ugh. Because she still, like, doesn't really feel comfortable with the others yet.
Mm-hmm.
But she's certainly not happy about Carrie.
I think I'm going to... I don't know, because it's not like I want to change my opinion of Soul, more along, like, add to it. So I'm just going to, like, add another one. But it's also just... It applies to Max and Meryl also, so I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to...
You could just put it after all of the crewmate
Yeah, I was about
questions.
to... Actually, I'll just
be
put
like,
a little section at the end.
General opinion of the crew.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I'll do is, because I know which one I want to do, because I have a specific brand of angst or comfort that I like.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna pick mine.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Which is the very last one. Someone is injured in an accident and nearly killed. Who? How? What new longings develop in the aftermath?
All questions you get to answer.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, like, throw it out there as well if you don't have a specific.
I think they have...
Well, because the thing is that my who is Meryl. My how, I don't actually know. But the who, I know. This question is definitely, like, best suited for, like, when you're gonna pick it, like, it's definitely best suited for, oh, I want to hurt my character to make things worse.
I mean, this is just, like, in a deep tract of space. Like, this is, like, on one of the long hops between, like, effectively space gas stations at this point.
Yeah.
Yep. That's literally what it is.
So, it's like, does something rupture? Because it's the nature of the ship that it is, as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things that aren't necessarily going to be realistically there to cause an accident. So it's not like there's like radioactive isotopes, because like anything moderately serious, if you don't have like a fully stocked med bay, could nearly kill you.
Right.
If you don't have the immediate stuff you need and you have to, like, make do. Like
Yes.
an anaphylactic reaction is a horrifying, upsetting thing to happen, but if you have an EpiPen, you can rectify the situation really quickly. If you don't, then you're talking about doing, like, upsetting emergency tracheotomies, which is a much scarier thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
The only thing I can think of is kind of embarrassing isn't the word I'm looking for, but something like it, where it's like, you know, maybe Meryl's taking stock of something or going to refresh some sort of supplies and like something falls from a high shelf is the only thing I can think of without like getting into, you know, some system on the ship breaking, which is a completely different crisis.
How about this? It's something that might have been minor if Meryl had told somebody that it had happened.
Yep,
but
that sounds
she
right.
doesn't.
That sounds like
and
her.
So it gets worse.
Yep.
And that's how something arguably maybe minor nearly kills her.
Yep.
Because this, like, happens.
She gets a concussion and then doesn't
Actually, that is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, gets a serious enough, like, bump on the head and you think, oh, it's fine. But, like, concussions can mess you up so bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's like, so yeah, maybe it was as simple as something fell, or maybe like they hit a patch of turbulence or something and she fell. Like,
I like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That works.
It's no human error. It's nobody's fault. It's just a stupid thing that happened, and because Meryl is Meryl and doesn't feel like she can talk to anybody, then she let it stew, and then maybe she just like collapses in the general area.
Yep.
So
is anyone there when she collapses, or is she alone and then someone has to find
Well,
her?
I would think if anything, like the AI would immediately alert Carrie.
Mm.
And like it had probably also popped up with a little like Meryl, are you okay type of thing when she first got hurt, and I was like, yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, that's really good. So the AI, like, it's been told by a human that the human is fine.
Yeah.
But then this happened, and then the AI can just be like, well, in fact, this happened on this day.
Yep. And it's just kind of like feeding Carrie this information. It's just like, so about that. So yeah, I think that would be
That's good. I
it.
like that.
So please, Dora.
So I would like to posit that Soul finds Meryl collapsed just because of the horror of, you know, oh god, what if my sister actually died again?
But for real this time.
Soul's like they're staring at Meryl like as Carrie comes out of the flight deck.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that the first scene of this?
Yeah, I think so.
Whose scene is it for the sake of controlling it? Just so we know where we are in the turn order. Is this Carrie's scene? Is this Soul's scene? We don't have to do them in our turn order as long as everybody gets one.
Yeah, because I don't think it can be my scene because I'm unconscious.
Yeah. Soul, if you arrive on the scene first,
yeah,
it would make more sense to be yours.
Yeah, I'm down with that. And I think before Carrie even makes it there, like she can probably hear Soul just yell fuck.
Yeah. She does have to like she's like straps, hits AI like, you know, autopilot buttons, and is just like leaping out of her chair immediately and comes running over and just like stops for a second and then immediately goes into professional mode and says like, Soul, you need to go get the emergency kit. Go, please.
And, you know, Soul kind of like, because I imagine Soul is like on her knees next to Meryl, and she gets up and her legs are really shaky, but she goes and she gets the emergency kit out of the store.
You also say Carrie knows like basic first aid, of course, and is just, you know, checking for a pulse and everything, and opening up Meryl's eyes and just trying to be like, Meryl, can you hear me? Meryl?
How long do people usually, like, when that happens?
I mean,
it depends on how long you've been letting it stew.
In theory, you could be unconscious for a very short amount of time. It's just things that you're supposed to monitor and tell people about.
Yeah. Like, you can't, like, be asleep for more than a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I'm just trying to figure out if it's realistic for her to be awake again.
She could just be vaguely responsive but not conscious. Like, enough to, like, murmur or whatever, but not awake, if you don't want to be awake yet for the sake of having conversation. Also drama. Mm-hmm. Like, she's responsive but not awake.
Yeah, that's probably closest. So she's kind of, like, mumbling a little bit.
And Soul's just, like, kind of hovering there, not saying much, just looking absolutely stricken. Like, if Carrie asks her for something, she'll do it, but otherwise she's like just hovering there.
Yeah. Carrie's just doing like rudimentary check, and you can see her like stop, and she's like consulting something on like her little medical data pad, whatever, you know, sci-fi bullshit. And
like McCoy has in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, Davenport's giving her information for it also. And she just says, like, Soul, help me get her up. We gotta take her. We'll just take her to her room. We can't leave her here on the floor.
Should we be moving her? I mean,
she's awake.
Oh,
enough.
Okay.
We have to get her up.
Soul.
She doesn't have a broken spine or injured neck or anything, so.
Okay. And Soul scoops her up, and just like she's nothing.
She really isn't anything.
Yeah.
No.
She's a tiny girl.
And Soul is not.
Nope.
No. Soul is the muscle.
She buff is the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Just go ahead.
I was just going to say, Sol just takes Meryl to her room, but her hands are too full of Meryl to be able to open the door.
Well, the AI's got you.
Ah, that's a good point.
Sci-fi bullshit.
I like the thought that she goes to try, though, like to press a button, so even if the doors have like an open button, so you don't have to rely on the AI to do it. It's still a good
Yes.
visual, like
Yeah.
looking round, like trying to figure out how to open the door.
Yeah, she's just like, and she's probably startled by it when the door opens without her pressing the button before she's like, oh, fuck. Yeah, the AI.
Oh, yeah, right. A fancy ass ship.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, shit. Well,
When she takes Meryl into her room and just kind of like sets her down. Does Carrie come with them?
Yes. Well, I think Carrie just kind of like stops in the doorway and actually, is just kind of like wavering there for a moment.
I think Sol turns and looks up at her and is like, well, Carrie, what do I need to do now?
We'll take turns watching over her. Just try to wake her up all the way first. And if she can maintain coherent sentences.
All right, I can do that.
this is going great, y'all. I'm so
Yeah.
happy.
I
This is some bullshit.
He's so happy as I torment my character.
So whose scene was that technically?
That was Souls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's, unless there's anything else that Carrie wants to say, I think that's probably seen.
Yeah, no, I think like if anything, Carrie just like visibly hesitates for a moment, then nods and leaves.
Oh, Carrie.
Hi, it's Dora, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed us, please consider leaving a rating on iTunes, telling your friends about us, or tweeting about our show using the FTLcast hashtag. No, seriously, we crave the validation and it helps us out. Your support really means a lot. Thanks again!